Lakes. My name is Dante, and today it is Podcast Tuesday once again. And well, it's time for it's the last podcast before Innistrad Remastered releases. We got Innistrad Remastered is coming out this weekend. The same weekend I'm in Prague, believe it or not. Yeah, we're getting a. So in case if you don't know, Innistrad Remastered is basically a compilation of all free Innistrad sets. Innistrad blocks. OG Innistrad block, Shadows over Innistrad block, and an Innistrad Midnight Hunt block. And it will also feature a few cards that are Innistrad themed, as in it'll have Fruit of Breach as well, which isn't really from Innistrad. It's a Kamigawa card actually, but since it's played with Emrakul, they actually made it, they actually made it into an actual thing. Fruit of Breach Eldrazi version is in is there. It's crazy. But anyways, that's basically and also commander cards, invasion as well. That's also so yeah, that's basically our just a brief recap on the set, in case if you guys don't know what this set is about. But anyways, but yeah, let's go to instead of combos and non-bows, we're going over two meld cards. Like, we've separated them from the main 10 since they are since they're basically two cards that merge into one. So let's start with our first one, and we got Handware Garrison and Handware Battlements. They merge together to make Handware, the Riven town township. It's basically Handware Battlements is a land. It's played a lot in Primeval Titan decks, but no one ever melds this card. Handware Battlements is a land that taps for a colorless. For 1 red, you can tap it to give a creature haste until turn. And for 5 mana, you can meld Handware Battlements with the Handware Garrison. Handware Garrison being a 3 mana, 2 free human soldier. When it attacks, create 2 1/1 humans that were tapped and attacking. People back then, when this was standard legal, this would be played in Boros humans. And this was actually, honestly, it was a cool deck. So yeah, and well, anyways, it's really cool. We got so yeah, that's basically our our first meld. Handware is basically the town itself that turned into an Eldrazi. 7/4 legendary ooze. Eldrazi ooze. Trample haste. When it attacks, create 2 free 2 Eldrazi horrors that are also tapped and attacking. So it basically just Handware is basically Handware Garrison, but even crazier because it has haste, trample, much bigger, and it creates even bigger creatures. It's just crazy, man. I mean, too bad no one actually does this. I mean, people used to play Handware Garrison just because it was a good card. People play Handware Battlements in Modern because it works well with Primeval Titan. But no one ever plays no one ever actually plays the Handware, the actual so yeah, that's basically the thing. I mean, well, let's just go into the second one. We got another one, which is the common rarity, but let's see. So, this combo, this is not a combo. We got Graph Rats and Midnight Scavengers. Now, Graph Rats actually used to be a common. Now it got upgraded to an uncommon for whatever reason. But Midnight Scavenger still remains a common. This is a 2-mana 2/1 rat. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have both of them, the Graph Rats and the Midnight Scavengers, you can meld them. You blink them and meld them into the Cheering Host. But Midnight Scavengers, what it does is it's a 5-mana free. When it ETBs, bring back a creature with MV3 or less from your graveyard hand. So if you have the rats first before the Midnight Scavengers, I mean, if the rats died, the Midnight Scavengers can bring them back. So then, you play the rats, you blink them together, and boom, it's a 5/6 Eldrazi horror with haste and menace. And when it ETBs, your other creatures get +0 and menace until turn. So, it's basically, it pushes, it's an aggressive card, basically. So, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah. So, that's basically that's basically the second meld. Let's go to a number 10, and we got. So this is one of the werewolf. It's a werewolf that isn't actually, like the traditional werewolf, which has daybound, nightbound, or at least the OG version of it. This is a Conduit of Storms. This actually was an uncommon, and it got downgraded to common, meaning it's now pauper legal. No way. It's a 3-mana 2/3 werewolf horror with whenever it attacks, you add a red in the next phase. And for 5 mana you can transform it. Not in the same. You can't do this during you can transform it during combat, but not with the mana you get from Conduit of Storms. If something, you have to do it in the next, but the thing is, if you were to transform the Conduit of Storms before combat, look, it transforms into Conduit of Emrakul, a 5/4 Eldrazi werewolf. With whatever attacks, add 2 colors at the beginning of the next main phase this turn. Now, what I mean is that this isn't, the traditional, it's not the traditional, werewolf. That's what I was saying. So, yeah, that's basically the, so yeah, well, that's basically Conduit of Storms transforms into Conduit of Emrakul. Now pauper legal. Will it change a thing? I don't think so. Let's go to our number 9. And we got Smouldering Werewolf. Another one of those werewolves that don't have daybound, nightbound, or anything similar. It's a 4-mana 3/2 werewolf horror with when it ETBs, it deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. And for 6 mana, you can transform this creature. Now, It's when it transforms into Erupting Dreadwolf. It is a 6/4 Eldrazi werewolf with whenever it attacks, deals 2 damage to any target. So when it ETBs, it first splits 1 damage on 2 creatures. But when it continues attacking, not when it transforms, when it attacks, it starts dealing 2 damage to anything. Creature, player, planeswalker, battle even, doesn't matter. It can just deal damage to it. It's just so crazy, man. I mean, yeah. So that's basically our number 9. Let's go to our number 8. And we got another one of those werewolves. We got Shrill Howler, a 3-mana 3/1 werewolf horror with reverse skulk. And for 5 mana, transform it. Stays in its Howling Chorus. Still a free 5. So it doesn't gain any new power, but it increases its toughness severely with reverse skulk. And when it deals combat damage to player, create a free 2 Eldrazi horror. So this one also spawns in Eldrazi horrors just like Handware. So yeah, it's very cool. I mean, it's still an uncommon. It always was an uncommon, but it's not a bad card. I mean, it's underrated. If this was downgraded to common, this might have been proper playable. But I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. It's a 3-mana 3/1 that has to be blocked with power 3 or greater. And then, when it's a 3/5, still same thing. So you're gonna have to chump block it with 4 powers, and I mean you're gonna need 5 power to put down the Howling Chorus. It's just crazy, man. I mean, and if you use pump spells, that's it. There's no blocking it. I mean, well, that's Shrill Howler. Really cool card. Let's go to the next one. And we got cryptolith fragment, a 3-mana artifact that enters tapped. Tap for 1 mana of any color, and both players lose a life. And your upkeep, if everyone has 10 or less life, transform it into the Aurora of Emrakul, a 1/4 Eldrazi reflection. With flying death touch, whenever attacks, each opponent loses 3 life. Now, there's a thing. I mean, is like reflection. There's pretty sure there was like. I mean, reflection is quite a strange creature type. I mean, it's just Aurora of Emrakul. The only reflection creature in the game is Aurora of Emrakul, but I'm pretty sure that there were cards that interacted with reflections, right? I mean, yeah, Illyrios creates a reflection, and it doesn't untap if you control reflection. So this actually non-bows of Illyrios. Not even joking. It's funny. I mean, so infinite reflect. No, that does not do. Kami of Twitch. No. Mirror Room copies a creature and makes it a reflection. Pure reflection destroys it. Whenever player casts a creature, destroy all reflection. Oh, include that. So wow, Aurora Emrakul dies to that. Then that player could just add that reflection, where X is the mana value of that spell. Questions of Lit Jar? No. Turn reflection? No. Oh! Spirit Mirror! Oh my god. So, maybe I'll keep. There are no reflections on battlefield, create 2/2 reflection. And you, for 0 mana, destroy reflection. So, what? Okay, that's quite a crazy card. First of all, it destroys Aurora of Emrakul completely. But if you just pair it with something that makes everything into reflections, it's crazy, man. Oh, Apprentice's Folly. Oh, darn. So there are cards that create reflections, but this is the only reflection creature. And it's not even a reflection on the main side. It's literally just an artifact. So, yeah. Let's go to our number 6. And we got Grizzled Angler, a 3-mana 2/3 human. Tap for 2 mill 2. If you mill a colorless creature, no, not if you mill a color. If there is a colorless creature in your graveyard, transform it. It doesn't matter if it's Eldrazi or something. I mean, even artifacts, like artifact creatures that they're just colorless would count. And not all colorless creatures are Eldrazi. I mean, there are some non-Eldrazi, non-artifact colorless creatures. Like, for example, there was this Ugin, some Ugin. I mean, there was this one, Skein of Ugin, which is a 6-mana 4/4 dragon spirit with flying. And well, there's and Ugin's Conjurant as well. So, I mean, all the Ugin stuff are colorless. So, yeah, there was yeah. That's basically you know, the it turns into Grizzly Anglerfish, 4/5 Eldrazi fish that for 6 mana you can force your opponent's creatures to attack his turn. And it's a very interesting card. I mean, it shouldn't be hard to transform it, but even when it transforms, it's not really that powerful. It's just a 4/5 that can force opponent's creatures to attack for 6 mana. So, yeah, that's basically our number 6. Not really like. I mean, it's not a bad card, but it's not really that good either. I mean, honestly, I expected more of the Eldrazi stuff, but I mean, it's only Eldritch Moon that have Eldrazi themed cards, so there aren't really that many. So, yeah. I haven't thought of that. I mean, well, it's honestly the Trident is better, but okay. I mean, well, that's basically our number 5. Let's go to our number 4, where we have another card gets added to Pauper. Imprisoned in the Moon. 3 mana. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Becomes a colorless land that taps for colorless. And it loses the other card types and abilities. So, well, this card, you know, the funny thing about Imprisoned in the Moon is that it literally started out as a rare. It was like Imprisoned in the Moon, rare from Eldritch Moon, and then again in Forgotten Realms Commander, Crimson Vault Commander, a Secret Lair drop, and stayed rare. This got reprinted in not reprinted. It's MTGO print and MTGA. It got added to MTGA via Shadows over Innistrad Remastered as a common, which doesn't count. Martian Machine Commander as a rare. Modern Horizons Free Commander is a rare. And the first time it actually gets reprinted in an actual set, you know, an actual booster set, is Foundations, where it gets downgraded to an uncommon. Who knew that they were going to reprint it again, once again, as a common? That's a crazy downgrade. I mean, Dreadbore might receive the same treatment sooner or later, because it was printed as a rare in Return to Ravnica. Came back as rare in Arch Enemy Nicobolus. Guild Kit as a rare as well. Secret Lair Drop is rare, of course. I mean, Ravnica Remastered, it stayed a rare. It did not get downgraded. But Pioneer Masters printed it as not print. It appeared on MTG Arena as a common, not even an uncommon. So it got a crazy downgrade. Now, so what's it? So what's so Imprison in the Moon finally gets Pauper Edition. However, it's not the first of its kind. There are many other artifact, artifact-based stuff that, well, it also, like enchantments that remove stuff. I mean, that were added to Pauper as common. So if we go to so in Foundations, we can see there's like a lot. There's a lot of cards in Foundations, but it's a white card. I mean, we should find it. I mean, if we go to the reprints, we have to head to the reprints. There's like a lot of reprints. Wait, there's a new Alesha? I did not know that. Okay. Let's just go to the reprint series. Because the reprints were sorted elsewhere for some reason. Why? Why are the reprints elsewhere? Okay. Banishing Light. Started as uncommon. Well, with gets downgraded to a common. I mean, it started like, well, FNM promo, it was an FNM promo when it came out in Journey into Nits. Then reprints again in Commander 2015 as an uncommon. Same with Commander Anthology Volume 2. Pharaohs Beyond Death comes back with the same art. Jumpstart Arena version is uncommon still. Zendikar Rising Commander is an uncommon. Kaldheim Commander is an uncommon. Time Spirit Remastered as a special rarity, time shifted card. Starter Commander deck as an uncommon. Tales of Middle-earth Commander is an uncommon. And that's when it gets reprinted as a common. We got Banishing Light in Bloomburrow. The first card of Bloomburrow, and it's a common. Banishing Light again in the list. The original version gets reprinted again for Foundations as a common 2 times in a row. And then in Jumpstart Foundations version, so Jumpstart 4, Jumpstart 5, however you want to see it, it's an uncommon for some reason. Why? I don't know. And it's not just that. Duskmourn has a very similar card. So Trapped in the Screen. Wait, it's a Trapped in the Screen, I think it was called. Yeah, Trapped in the Screen. 3 mana enchantment. War 2. When it ETBs, adds out an artifact creature enchantment opponent's controls until Trapped in the Screen leaves the battlefield. What's that? Anything but a planeswalker. There are no planeswalkers in Pauper. So, for Pauper players, this is basically strictly better than Banishing Light. Because Banishing Light, the only difference it has to Trapped in the Screen is that it can exile planeswalkers. But it can't exile lands. Trapped in the Screen can exile any artifact, creature, or enchantment. Which means it can exile an artifact land. A creature land. I mean, what? I mean, I don't know if there's many creature lands in this format, but still, I mean, artifact lands are not safe anymore. I mean, with Trapped in the Screen, and it has Ward. So, it's better than Banishing Light. I mean, I was like, what the hell? They put Banishing Light in Pauper and then Trapped in the Screen comes out. And I'm like, what? That's even better for Pauper players. I mean, not really for other players. I mean, Banishing Light still is debatably better, but, well. And, there's Imprison in the Moon, which which basically renders a card into a land. Oh my god. Well, it's a blue removal. Now it's a common. So pauper players, you got a new tool to play with. Let's go to our number 3. And we got, no, number 4, my bad. Oops. Elder Deep Fiend. 8 mana, 5/6 Eldrazi octopus with flash and emerge for 7 mana. When you cast it, tap up to 4 target permanents. So it's a flash card, which means it's, you know, you, well, it means you just can't, I mean, you merge, you could sacrifice a creature. I mean, people don't really do that. I mean, control players tend to just cast it with the 8 mana. But I mean, if you have like, it can reduce the cost down to 2 if you sacrifice a 5 mana creature. And it doesn't have to be a colorless creature. Like any creature, like you can emerge the Elder Deep Fiend. And it has flash. So you cast it in and you just tap 4 creatures, and it just ran like 4 creatures, 4 lands on the upkeep, you know, it's so powerful. You can shut down the opponent for a turn. It's a very powerful card. So that's basically our that's basically our number 4. Underrated card, used to be played a lot, now it's kind of dead, but it's still not bad. Let's go to our number 3. We got Distended Mindbender. Also 8 mana. 5/5 instead of 5/6. Eldrazi Insect with emerge for 7 mana. And when you cast this, target opponent reveals their hand. You take something that's 3 or less and something that's 4 or greater. That player discards a card. So basically, it picks the brain and it does it picks the brain and Inquisitions of CODZ. So in case if you don't know Inquisition of CODZ, it's just target player reveals their hand, you choose an on-land from it that costs 3 less, and that player discards it. Pick the brain, it's a similar card. So no, wrong card, not pick the brain. It was something appetite for brains, my bad. Wrong card. Target opponent reveals a hand. You choose a card that's MV4 or greater and exile it. Not discard it, but it exiles a card. So pick the brain is basically not pick. Appetite for brains is the opposite of Inquisition of CODZ. And Distended Mindbender does both. However, the 4 mana card does not get exiled. It just gets discarded. It's so yeah, that's basically it. Nothing much. I mean, it's just similar to Elder Deep Fiend. Not sure if better, not sure if worse, but I mean, Elder Deep Fiend was played in the past. That's one thing I know for sure. So yeah, that's basically our number 3. Let's go to our number 2, and we got Decimator of the Provinces. This is the card that got me to day 2 in Brussels back 5 years ago. Darn, time flies. 10 mana, 7/7 Eldrazi Boar with emerge from 9 mana. When you cast a spell, your creatures get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. Trample haste. So Decimator of the Provinces, it's just it's a game ender. Literally, it ends the game like that. It's just so powerful. You emerge this with some creature. You know, like there's like in my case, it was there was let me just see. It was a haunted dead. Yeah, which is a 4 mana zombie. I mean, you don't really play your 4th mana. You do the alternative cost that's 2 mana, discard 2 cards to bring it back from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. The spirit doesn't enter tap though. That's the cool thing. And the thing is that's 4 mana. So if you emerge from Haunted Dead, the Decimator of Provinces, that's 5 mana. In the late game, Decimator can still decimate. It's just so good. It's it's a very good card. It's very it's just a very strong card. I mean, so yeah, that's basically Decimator of the Provinces. It's just so good. I mean, they made a nerd card later on similar to Decimator. I mean, it's tries to be the Crater Hoop Behemoth, but there is a similar card. It's called Endray's Forerunners. Endray's Forerunners, being an 8 mana 7/7 boar with Vigilance, Trample, Haste. When ETBs, your other creatures get plus supers 2 and Vigilance, Trample onto on turn. Doesn't give them. I mean, Decimator of Provinces does not have Vigilance. Doesn't give the other creatures Vigilance, but still has Trample and Haste and gives the other creatures Trample. I mean, Endray's Forerunners is basically the same thing as Decimator of Provinces, but it's 8 mana instead of 10 mana and cannot emerge, and it has Vigilance. Plus, it's green. So yeah, it's basically that's basically it. I mean, so yeah, that's our number 2. Let's go to the one and only, the number 1, and we got the main reason why there are Eldrazi in Innistrad, or at least why there were Eldrazi in Innistrad. It's Emrakul, the Promised End, a 13 mana 13/13, which costs 1 less based on a number of card types in your graveyard. Yeah, that it's a crazy card. I mean, it's still played to this day in Modern, and this was banned in Standard. I think this was banned in Pioneer as well. I mean, not sure if it's still. I don't remember if it's still. No, it is legal in Pioneer, but it was banned at one point. I remember, but it was banned in Standard as well. And anyways, like any Emrakul card, the Modern players will play. I mean, if we go to the newest variation of Emrakul, which is the World Anew, it's the 12 mana version that you can, for madness, sits colorless, and I mean, there's a 15 mana Emrakul which is banned in Commander and Oathbreaker. The 13 mana one isn't, and neither is the 12 mana one. All of them are Modern legal though, and they're all devastating. Because this is probably the easiest Emrakul to cast. Because Emrakul is gonna get cost reduction based on card types, and it's even more powerful. I mean, it's just an incredible card. I mean, well, that's basically our. I mean, it's the only Eldrazi Titan who actually appeared on Innistrad. I mean, of course, that's why we don't have CODZ or Ulamog. But Emrakul is still a powerful card. This variation of Emrakul. I mean, all of them are powerful. I mean, it's hard to decide which one's the best one. because Hammercool, this one's probably the cheapest, the easiest one to cast based on graveyard. And by casting it, you take control of the opponent's turn, give them another one afterwards. And it has protection from instants, flying, and has flying and trample. The 15 mana one, it's protection from colored spells. 15 mana, does not have any cost reduction, uncounterable, gives you an extra turn by casting it. Flying, doesn't have trample, but it has Annihilator sits. And if it hits the graveyard, shuffle the whole graveyard back to the library. And it's a trigger. So now the Warden U is a 12 mana one, which has Manus, sits colorless. The Manus makes it half the cost, but it has to be colorless mana. That's the big issue. By casting it, you steal every creature from someone. But when it leaves, you have to sacrifice all of your creatures, which include the creatures you just stole from the opponent. Which means the opponents will not get the creatures back. And has flying, protection from spells, and from permanents that were cast this turn. So, immune to haste, not really immune to haste, but if a creature with haste is attacking, Emrakul could just block it with no problems whatsoever. That's basically what I mean. But yeah, and it doesn't have trample though. That's another issue. Still a very powerful card though, and well, it's hard to say which one's the best one. But Emrakul was banned in Standard when it came out, so yeah. Here's congratulations. You have reached the end of the podcast. So why don't you like and subscribe, follow, inventory, share with friends, stay tuned to our next videos, streams, and podcasts. Podcasts will be live every Tuesday, 4:30 GMT. So stay tuned to them. Watch my other videos too. Tomorrow might be doing one last Modern League on MTGO before I go to Prague. So I'm going, but Prague, it's a weekend trip. So there won't be any recorded podcast. It's gonna be, the next podcast will be live. Don't worry, podcast will be live on Tuesday because I'm gonna be back on Monday. And well, it's not just that, I'll be streaming from the event. So when I'm at the event, try and just catch me live. I'm out probably like once each day at the event. Day 1, day 2, and day 3. I'll be streaming. Streaming for a few minutes, just chatting with everyone and just showing you guys around the event. It's the first time I'm playing a tournament center event. I've played a lot, like every single Legacy European Championship event except for the first one. So yeah, and but I didn't play the first tournament center event. This is the first one I'm actually attending, which is the second one. And well, it's basically it. Anyways, congratulations. You've reached the end of the podcast. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And bye.